Welcome back. Here's the question. Who dropped the ball in the case of this 7-year-old IPS School 87 special needs student attacked in a classroom while the teacher videotaped it, and you can hear him egging it on? Since we broke this story last week, we have asked who knew what and when, and what did they do with the information. So far, we have found the Marion County prosecutor and IMPD claim they knew nothing about the special needs student being beaten. They say they knew nothing about this case. We've learned IPS reached out to DCS, and we know DCS investigated and they found the teacher, Julius Jonikin, neglected the second grader. But why did the investigation stop there, or did it? I have a little bit of new information on that. Whose responsibility is it, by the way, to make sure justice is even served? IU Professor of Law Jody Madeira is joining us now live this morning with what we try to break down these talking points. And really quickly, Jody, before we get to that, I want to let you know that DCS finally responded to me yesterday. And they said their policy is to then, once they find neglect or abuse, to reach out to the prosecutor or to police. They will not answer if they did in this case. So again, I don't have the whole setup to give you the information, but let's start with what does the law say about mandatory reporting?
Sure. So the Indiana statutes actually are broader than in other states. They say any individual, not only who knows that abuse or neglect may be taking place, but any individual who has reason to believe that a child is a victim of child abuse or neglect has to make a report as required by this article, by the statute. And so if they don't, of course, this can be a misdemeanor.
Let's talk about this from the beginning then, because the mom in this case, per the lawsuit, she claims that she went to the school multiple times saying, my student is telling me that he is being neglected, he's being punched, he's being hit. The lawsuit claims that they were told the child is lying. Do you believe at that point, if teachers, substitute teachers, school administrators knew that there was an accusation of abuse, that they needed to report at that time?
Certainly, I think that that gives them reason to believe that a child is being abused or neglected, because again, this happened over a span of months.
Okay, so let's take it now from the point of where I've reached out to IMPD. I've reached out to the Marion County prosecutor. They still claim they knew nothing about this. DCS is now saying it's their policy to reach out to a prosecutor or police once they find neglect. I don't know if they did in this case, but as far as DCS goes, it's a civil organization, I believe, but if they find abuse or neglect, by law, do they have to do anything?
Yes, and that's a great point. So when DCS cooperates with law enforcement, its focus is a little bit different. Unlike law enforcement, which prosecutes, arrests parents or guardians when warranted, DCS is really focused on protecting children and sort of maintaining or stabilizing families. But again, the Indiana statutes do say that DCS has to make a written report of child abuse or neglect not later than 48 hours after basically getting an oral or written report that abuse may be taking place. And so they have to include certain information about the nature of the abuse, the person who might be responsible, and then they have to turn a copy of a written report over to the law enforcement and the prosecutor. And to the coroner if there's actually a child death. So yes, there is a duty under Indiana statutes to inform law enforcement or the prosecutor.
So as a law professor, and you can help me here, it sounds like what I need to do next is to get a FOIA to IMPD, to the Marion County prosecutor, and to DCS to find out if all of those things happened. Guessing I need to start with DCS to see if they actually gave that report. I have a copy of it. Did they give it to the prosecutor? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Jody Madeira, thank you so much. I've been trying for a week to get these answers and figure out what we're supposed to do next to find out how justice can be served better. We appreciate you as always. And again, Fox59.com broke this story. We have more on our website at fox59.com.